So today, our Grow Showcase is presented by Mr. Mark Brimer, founder and owner of Office Supply Solutions. Mark Brimer is going to tell us how to avoid the feast-famine roller coaster that so many small businesses face, trying to balance completing work for clients and new account acquisition. Mark's presentation is entitled Avoiding the Roller Coaster. Mr. Mark Brimer.
There you go. You good? Okay. First of all, I'm going to see if I can compete with Brian's amazing slides. I will say this, my slides are a lot better than they were 30 years ago. I obviously have no slides. So speaking of 30 years ago, who here 30 years ago loved riding roller coasters? Anybody? So, for instance, Bill, why'd you ride a roller coaster? Why'd you do it? A thrill. Steve, what was your favorite roller coaster? Favorite roller coaster? Out of Magic Mountain, very good. So here's the thing. You're saying a thrill, exciting, you're really thrilled about this. Well, here's the thing. If your sales are like a roller coaster, is that really a good thing? So, you can see I have high-tech slides here. Are you out busy networking or networking busy? The thing is that a lot of people go out and think, okay, I'm going to go out and get all this business. It's going to be great. But they're meeting with the wrong people, and they create a delay in what they really should be doing, the work for their clients, and not creating more work for their clients. So, what do you do if you think you're too busy? Is it time to stop networking? Well, here's the mistake a lot of people make. They think if I'm busy, I have to just take care of my clients and focus. So business, because of networking, has gone up like this. It's hitting a peak, and then they do all this work for the client as their business is going straight down. And then they go, wait a second, what just happened? Now I've got nothing to do. Now what do? I should probably network again. Well, now you got a lull. You have no money coming in. You're not being consistent. And as a result, you're not keeping your business steady and predictable. So can you imagine me getting on the floor and doing the worm? Okay, no, I'm not going to do the worm. Don't worry, because I might not be able to get up. What about my sales? So here's the thing. I've been fortunate enough in business over 13 years to never be slow, but to do more of the worm. I never have gone up and all the way down because I'm always networking, even when I think I'm almost too busy to network. So even though it might go up and down a little bit, this is all my sales curve does. It never has big swings. So it's very predictable. I actually have numbers that show month over month, year over year, what I've done. It shows consistently, other than a couple, like I said, other unique factors that have kept us on track. We're very consistent. Certain months are busy months because of everything that happens in the world. Certain months are slow months. I know that March is going to be busy. I know that November is going to be slow. It's just the way it's been for 13 years. Might change next year, but we shall see. So roller coasters can be fun, but in business, dangerous or even deadly. The thing that people don't realize is trying to make up the work and get back to where you were is a lot harder than just staying there. Because if you know what's coming in, you know how to predict for it. And the point is that people get so focused on the now, they don't think ahead. What's going to happen in 3 months? What's going to happen in 6 months? So the networking I do today is not for me to get a sale today. If I get a sale today, that's great. I'm not going to say no, but I'm networking for my sales in 6, 8, 12 months because those relationships build over time. The good news is that you're consistent with your networking. Your referrals will stay consistent as well, as long as you're meeting with the right people. I always like to say this. If you're out networking correctly, you don't have to worry about your next referral. It'll just show up because if you're doing the right things, the right actions will come from it. So what are the numbers of your business? How many accounts do you need to succeed? That's different for all of us. So what you have to do is figure out, okay, if I do this amount of networking, this is going to turn into this many clients. This many clients keeps my business moving. This keeps my business growing. You have to decide what those numbers are. Some of us here, if they get 2 new accounts per year, they're like, wow, I got 2 accounts. This is great. If I get 2 new accounts as an office supply company, I'm out of business. I've got to literally get 1 a day. So the size of my accounts might be smaller than some other people who need 2 a year. But the point is you need to figure out how much networking you need to do to get what production you need to succeed. So maybe look in the past, say, okay, if I've brought on this many accounts in a month or a quarter, this is good for my business, or this is dangerous for my business because it's not enough. If it's not enough, figure out what more you need to do. You need to add 1 meeting a week, 5 meetings a month. What is that you need to do to get the numbers in your favor? Because if the numbers are in your favor, most likely you're going to win. Now, other factors come in like COVID or the economy, but in general, you can't predict for that. You have to predict for in general. So you need to know how many accounts you need to succeed to stay relevant to not only to the marketplace, but to make relevance into the business world. So what you need to do is always keep time to network, no matter how busy you are. The question is, where do you network? Do you network in chambers, in rooms like this, formalized networking groups, or even private groups? Those are things you've got to decide, because you need to find out where the people you are going to help you. Because what you don't want to do is be networking busy and go to places where you go, hi, how you doing? Nice to see you for the 3rd time this week. Nothing happens from it, and that's it. It's also not just meeting in those rooms, it's strategically meeting with people outside of those rooms and grabbing coffee to make sure that they know what you need, because they're going to be the people who find you those repeated referrals. That's the key to networking, is make sure you're consistent, because that allows you to then say, okay, I'm going to work from these times and I'm going to network in these times. For instance, I have 2 networking times, 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Some people think that's ridiculous. Well, it might be, but guess what? My clients need my time, and I help be available, or I'm available for my clients during the day. So I network before and after work, and that allows me to grow my business. Could I meet with more people if I met during the day? Sure. I go to lunch every day. But what am I giving up my current clients to gain new clients? 1 in, 1 out isn't a win. It's just staying even. So the point is you have to figure out in your business, the Tuesday's a slow day, time to network. Friday's a busy day. I'm definitely not networking on Fridays. So figure out what works for you and see if you can find some trends to make sure that happens. So are you ready to lose your top account? What would you do? If your top account, who pays you the most money, disappeared today, what would you do? What % of your overall profit is that number 1 account? What I do on December 31st every year is run a report to see what percentage of my overall profit each account was for the year by percentage. So I know that if I lose this account, this is going to hurt. If I lose this account, it's not going to be fun, but it's not going to hurt too bad. It might just be a sting. So it can be a sting or a shot to the heart. You can sing the song if you want to. It's up to you. But the whole point is this. I know that my business personally is diversified enough that if I were to lose the top account, it wouldn't be fun, but I still wouldn't have to close the doors. Where other people know that if they lose that 1 account, it's 75% of their business, the whole world changes in their business economy or their business environment, because now they've got a lot less work to do. They have no money coming in, and they've got to figure out quick, or else they're going to have to get that job and give up their dream of being their own business owner. So figure out what of your clients, if you have consistent clients, what percentage of your profit do they pay for? Are they a small shareholder? Or are they a big shareholder? And no, notice of public companies, but really our clients are our shareholders, and figure out what that looks like. I remember having a conversation with my niece. She was 11 at the time. She goes, "Your uncle, you are so lucky. You have no boss. You can do whatever you want to do because you own your own company." I said, "You're exactly right. I do own my own company. I don't have a boss. I have 2,000 of them. They're called customers. They can fire me at any time and never pay me again." Oh, that was kind of a look on her face like, that wasn't where I thought that was going. The whole point is this. Your shareholders who pay you are your clients. Just like the question we had earlier today about how do you appreciate your clients? My answer was all year long. I don't have sales because they're not special sometimes. They're special every day. So I want to make sure they feel special every day by getting great pricing and great service. So that way they do come back and stay as a shareholder of my business, not just for 1 order, but for many orders. Also, that being said, if you have a residual business, figure out how many times you need them to be a client to be consistent. Like for instance, in my industry, they say if someone's a client 3 or more times, they're an ongoing client. For some people, it might be 2 times. It might be one coaching session or doing a package of, let's say, 5 or 7 coaching sessions. So you have to figure out what that is for you. be successful. So if you're networking with the right people in the right places with the correct professions, that's how you're going to win and keep from being on that roller coaster of, I've got a lot of work to do. I have nothing to do. I'm making money. I'm not making money. Because again, as thrilling as the roller coaster is in person when you're a kid, being on that business roller coaster is not that fun. It really isn't, because it's stressful. It can take a toll on you. It can take a toll on your reputation, because if people know that you're desperate, because I always say, a hungry salesperson is a desperate salesperson. A desperate salesperson is a hungry salesperson, as Richard laughs at that because he knows the truth. That's what it is. But if you're always consistent, even if you lose one and gain one periodically, it's going to happen. But it's making sure that you're building that up over time. So turn your roller coaster into a fun and profitable ride and grow your business in the process. That is me. That is my information. If there's anything I can do for you as far as the question, I'd love to answer it. Otherwise, thank you for your time, and I hope I gave you some information that is beneficial to you. We'll grab that mic glass. Sure.
First of all, you have a network as well.
Okay. I would love to have the network as well. I have a part-time salesperson that does network some, but I wish I had more people that do. So it's a lot of my staff is delivery drivers, so they wouldn't be really out there networking. But on the other hand, I make sure they share with people in their own circles what we do, because I make it very clear to them that if they bring in business, they're going to be compensated for that, not only for delivering it, but for bringing in the business. So it kind of makes them aware of, hey, they can help grow this business too. It's not just me, even though they don't have the title of sales.
So you mentioned that you have slow months in the past.
Yep.
November being one, I suspect you're up.
Huh?
What do you do with your team when you have slow months? What are you doing to optimize their performance?
Really, I mean, they might have a few less hours, but it's more get a little bit of organization. When I say slow, it might be 3 to 5 orders a day less. It's not drastic, but it's one of those things that we have big conferences or anything like that. It's one of those things that it just, they know it's going to be a little bit slower, maybe half an hour less a day here, a day there. Yes, Bill.
Mark, first of all, your company does a great job.
Thank you.
When Ann and I recently moved, we had to replace our printer. And so, we bought our new printer from you. You were able to help us get it installed properly and everything. So thank you. It really, your company does a great job. My question is around networking. How do you feel about going out, meeting people for the first time in person, and then using more of a computer follow-up and then maybe Zooming or something on the follow-up? How do you feel about that kind of a hybrid? What's been your experience?
Me personally, I know I do better face-to-face because I'm most people that gets distracted easily personally. So I'd rather sit in front of you. You're going to get a lot more out of me and a lot more referrals. I'm not opposed to sending like email follow-up or an email newsletter to stay in touch with somebody. That makes a lot of sense, because you can't keep up with thousands of people if you have a numbers business like me versus some other people, let's say coaches, who they have 25 clients. Oh my gosh, there's no way I can fit this all in. But it doesn't even a mix. For me personally, Zoom is nice, but not as effective for me personally. But I'm sure for other people, it's very effective and actually more effective than in-person meetings. Yes.
So you had mentioned networking areas, places to go for networking, such as chambers. What are some of the other groups or areas to look in to be able to find places to network?
Well, I mean, I would say if you're at a networking event, one of the questions, instead of asking people what they do, is ask them where they network. Ask them where they go to network, because that way you can hopefully come along, because a lot of places, just like e4e, loves having visitors. So they say, oh, I network at e4e. Oh, what's that? Tell them about it. And you never know. Laura might just show up, right, Laura?
Yeah.
There you go. So there's a lot of different places you can network, but it's more finding what works for you, because just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, because you're in the balloon industry, I'm the office supply industry. There, we supply things, but they're quite different. So it has to be a fit for you. Steve?
Mark, I loved what you talked about. Clients are effectively your shareholders. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Can you speak a little bit more to that? Do you see your shareholders growing over time once you began to treat them that way? Do you find that they refer you more often? What are some of the collateral benefits that you get out of that?
I mean, I look at it as whether they're a big or small client, you never know when there could be a bigger client or even refer a bigger client to you. So it's not they only spent $30 on this, or they spent $8,000 on this. It's not just the person I'm looking at, who's behind them. And I always look at people as their community, not just them. So if I treat them well, they might refer me to their community. And that's what I look at because, again, I can't know everybody. I know a couple people in this town, but they know a lot more people behind them. So if I take great care of them, whether they're buying small or large, they're going to take care of me in return. So could I ask for more referrals from my current clients? Of course, we all could. But the whole point is that if I put myself out there consistently, I'll get consistency back.
Yeah, Mark, I know one of the things that you do very well is that in your networking, you make it a point to be a resource and provide a benefit to the people, even when you're meeting them the first time. And that is so powerful because it creates a desire to reciprocate. They want to help you because you've demonstrated a willingness to help them. And I think it's one of the things that you do exceptionally well and one of the reasons why you're so successful.
Thank you. Okay. All done? Sounds good. Well, thank you very much, everybody.